Welcome to Coach's Corner. It's Coach Devi here, and this is
Amy.
Coach Lyndon.
Where we change relationships with food and fitness. If you like this video and it comes out, I'd like you to share it, like it, hit the notification bell so that you get notification for when the next one comes out. And we're gonna get right into these topics.
Oh.
What topic?
Is it on me? Oh, I was like,
You seem to be the topic.
I know, he seemed
the topic.
He seemed like he had it, then he just like, he was like, back to you.
I can come up with a topic. I've been thinking.
Yeah.
All right. Let's go for it.
Thinking.
Motivated mental Mondays. Let's go.
Motivated mental Mondays.
These Coach's Corner topics I've been thinking.
Yeah.
My mind's been running.
Well, it's funny because you were just talking with Jen. Shout outs to Jen.
Hey.
About something that I was thinking about
Skip through all that.
recently, and I've been thinking about ways to like life hack and find more time.
Life hack.
Yeah,
Okay.
like life hacks to find more time in your day, you know,
Yeah.
and just set yourself up for success and plan things. The better you plan, the more time you have. It's shitty. Cause like, you think it's the other way around.
I think I'm free because I'm just not doing anything, but really I'm trapped in not doing anything. And I have a bunch of things to do.
I got so much shit to do and I'm not doing anything. And then I can't actually have fun doing nothing because my brain is filled up with shit I gotta do.
Or have fun doing the things that are fun.
Because
you're thinking about, that's my problem. I was just like, yo.
basura.
Basura.
Saturday I rested and then I was like, now I feel fucking pissed off because like there's all this shit I was supposed to do, but I know I needed to rest. It's like, I hate that.
I make my rest active, and that's what makes me feel good about it. But I used to go to like yoga classes. First of all, I've said this so many times, and somebody's gonna be mad. Someone's gonna see this and they're gonna be mad. I hate yoga classes in Rochester that I've been to.
They are good.
Right? And I'm not mad at any particular person. I just haven't, look, man, I am a black man taking yoga, okay? I am not the most flexible, and I believe differently than most yoga spaces believe. I've not found my home. The only space I have found where I really like teaching has been in other cities, so virtual stuff, things with other men of similarity. I just have Danny's shutting down Black Boys at Home. Shout out to Dan, because he created a space for us during COVID to learn what was called rocket yoga for absolutely nothing. You could donate $1 and become a yoga instructor. It was amazing. And if you know anything, one of the hardest things about becoming an instructor is the accessibility. Now, I gotta give reverence to the hood, Yoga for a Good Hood, in case you do not know. Shouts out to the hood because I actually did get certified before I even found this place. It was before a pandemic to help us help people through pandemic. So all of that. But yeah, I haven't found a studio where I'm like, that's it. And when I teach here, it feels pretty good, but I'm not taking that class, I'm teaching that class, right? The closest I've found that I like, it depends on where they're teaching, that I really like, but I probably say that I've gone to consistently. I have not been to a Rocco class, but I have been to a Brett class. Brett teaches yoga. I do like his classes. They're just a little advanced for you, boy, right? Like the things are very above where I'm at. And don't get me wrong, he tries his best to make it accessible, but every time I go to his class, it's like in a more advanced class. So it's like one of those things. I want the mental over the physical because I do the physical so often. So I think that's what makes most of these practices like, kind of for me. Also, it's the bravado. I can feel the way this feels is because of the teacher sets the atmosphere. So a lot of the times I would go into places and I would feel like people were competing with me without me wanting to compete. And I don't like that in a space that's supposed to be about community. Fair? So that would bother me a little bit.
Fair?
Yeah.
Well, nutshell.
I feel that.
For going to yoga when I need to relax, because none of the yoga I've been to here makes me feel like I relaxed. It actually makes me feel like I have to defend myself, protect myself, advocate for myself. And while there are times for that, it's not when I want to relax. So, ha!
Ha-ha.
That was a lot to say about that. But at the same time, it's the reason why the space exists. So we've been talking about it. I might be teaching more regularly. right? But it's
More and more?
Yeah, oh my goodness.
You might be teaching more regularly.
More and more.
Because I think you already are teaching regularly.
Quite a bit.
Not more regularly.
I'm
You're going to
teaching
teach more,
yoga
more regularly. Yeah.
Yoga regularly.
Yeah. Okay.
Gives Ashley a break.
Yeah. I really enjoy your yoga class, by the way.
Thank you.
I only took one, and it was lit.
Yeah.
It was lit.
Well, I believe in setting the atmosphere and being genuine to who I am, and I think a lot of that does what people resonate with. You know, so I think there do need to be more yogis like myself. I just need to I need to stop fighting it as much. Again, especially that we have our own space. So you heard it here first. You will be seeing a lot more of me teaching in all things because we need it.
Excited.
Set stuff. What was I forgot what the overall question was. We went on a whole time.
Damn, let me restate. So, with everything, I feel like everything's ramping up, you know? Like, I'm sure everyone feels it as we go into this commercialized holiday season, that you have less time for yourself. You have less time to even get the things that you normally get done. So, some life hacks that we use just in our day-to-day.
Got it.
That help us, you know, be more efficient with our time.
Okay.
I think you were talking with Jen about it as far as
food.
Food.
With food stuff?
Food's a big one.
Okay, how about I'll give one of my favorite life hacks that can help people find their own personal life hacks. Who are the 3 people you're in competition with, or the 3 things you're in competition with? Maybe it's not people. Like people you aspire to be like or whatever. What are the 3 things, right? Like, try it. What are the 3 things that you aspire to be like?
Damn. Things?
They can be people too. I'm just saying like 3 things you aspire to.
Okay. Well, I've been aspiring to consistency.
Sure.
Clear water.
Sure.
And having gratitude through all of that.
Sure. So now who's your example?
Consistency. Consistency right
You're
here.
making me blush.
And what was my second one? I just lost it.
Clear water.
Yeah, clear water. I'd say, dang.
Yeah.
I got both of them right here.
Yeah.
And then,
What's your third?
and then gratitude, I say it's me, but I want to be more of that. You know, like I want to be more, I want to build on it.
Sure.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Do you know your 3?
Yeah, I think probably my biggest one I'm feeling right now is being able to ask for help and lean on the people who surround me.
Sure.
I might cry because I've been crying a lot lately.
It's all right.
But that one's really hard for me.
There's a lot of that going around.
I aspire to be, I think, have more financial freedom, the ability to move, to not feel constricted by how I move, by what my funds are. You know, and probably this is like attached to lean on others, but
Sure.
like like my time, I aspire to fill my time with things that I enjoy, my passion, and to have more time to do that. Yeah.
Good. 3 people that you aspire to that have those things.
Oh. Well, I know.
This is the hard one. They can be like entities too.
Yeah.
Like just 3 things you aspire to.
Yeah.
Amazon.
I mean,
For help.
that's a good one.
Yeah, I think asking for help.
Like, who do you know is like a great advocate for help?
I know a lot of people who want me to ask for help.
Right.
I feel like I'm surrounded by them.
Sure.
I'm trying to think like where I see that modeled.
That's what I'm saying.
Because
Where's a space where you can say?
I think I'm also surrounded by people who struggle to ask for help.
Fair.
Like, so it's like,
That's a fact.
like this, like,
That's
you know, we're all like tumbling around it. And
Fair.
you know, I will say I've seen like Ashley asking for help
Yeah.
more recently. And that, for like her and I has strengthened our bond.
Right.
So maybe Ash is kind of showing me what it looks like to like lean. Because it's not like people aren't prepared for it. People are like, yo, when the fuck are you going to like tip? And I'm like, I don't know when I crash. Like, I guess, like, we'll see.
It's about how it feels sometimes.
When I'm like backed into a corner and gonna fall off a cliff, I'll be like, maybe I need help. I don't know.
Someone catch me.
Can someone help me?
I think, I think you got people in your life who are going to see you way before you get there.
Yeah,
so
I
that's
agree.
Nice.
I think I'm letting them see me a little bit more too, which is the other thing.
Well,
like,
it's hard to hide from certain people.
Yeah, it is.
Yes,
it is.
Yes.
So that kind of segues into Chris, I would say, is probably the financial piece, right? The way I watch Chris, because he gives a lot, and I like that idea, but I also can't give at his level because I'm not at his level. Like,
Fair.
I have to also respect that.
Fair.
And I would say he, like, as a person who I can't like hide that from, that was like the first thing he said on Saturday morning. He saw me, he's like, are you okay? I was like, nope. So, and maybe, he fills his time with a lot of passion. And you fill your time with like what you want to do. And both of you are extremely busy, and I am extremely busy as well.
Yes,
so finding balance there, I think, kind of ties back in with me needing to like know when to ask for help and lean on people who are like, sharing space with me.
That's fair.
As well as the other people like, that are also in my close circle.
Yeah. So, and I will give mine. Mine is consistency is definitely the name of the game. Financial freedom is definitely the name of the game. And then the last one is, it's going to be described in so many places as authentic community, but I just listed as tribe, right? And I do that probably because of all the research I'm doing into my own backgrounds and heritages to make sure that the things I do match with the person I want to be. My example in business is Alex Hormozzi. My example as a man is Jason Wilkes. And my third example as a spiritual person is a guy named Gavin. Okay, so the reason I like to have different pillars is because if you look at people and you look at what they have, instead of being jealous of what they have, you realize what helped them get there. What habits helped this person win to get there? Was it humility? Was it being brazen and bold? Like, what was the thing, right? And then most of these people had literal plans to how they got there, and they're sharing them all the time, which is why they're so popular. So, for instance, one of my things that I worked on really hard in the last, let's say 3-4 months, was he said, you only impress poor people with what you have. So someone doing worse than you will be impressed by what you have. But someone who's better than you, like especially on a financial tip, will be impressed by how hard you work, right? So they're looking at what you're willing to sacrifice and give to get to their level. And that's why if you step into a room with people like that, if they truly respect you, you will be talked to as an equal. You won't be talked to as someone who's there or who got in the room. You'll be talked to as an equal. Right? And that was important to me on both business and being a man. I didn't want to be in a room full of people who I felt like I had to coddle, right? I wanted to be in a room full of people who I felt like I could respect and admire. So there's give back time, and then there's also give to me time. Give to me time is tied to give back time, right? That's super important. So that's why I said, if you look at your things, you can look at what your examples are for getting to the next level, right? Because again, I'm flattered if I'm considered in any of this, but at the same time, like, what do I do that you see that bears fruit? And then can you use that to do your own thing? Again, high school dropout, I got here with help, consistency, and a lot of just really stick-to-itiveness, right? I don't have a better way to say it. I stuck to stuff that when everybody didn't think it was going to happen, I stuck to it. I sought out my blue ocean. If you've never read the book, it's a great book for learning about like how you're going to do the next thing. Blue ocean is diverse in how it approaches things that seem mundane, which is what I really like. Also, again, I read a lot, I learned a lot, and now I'm in this stage of like giving it away. What's so interesting about this stage is you don't stop learning. If anything, I'm now doing a lot more for free because I feel like I'm at the next learning stage. It's just not in the same spaces as it was before. At first, I gave free in fitness. Now, I give free in like learning about spirituality or increasing my know-how in the business. I'm looking at like how I can barter with people to learn more about what they have and what versus what I have. Those type of things, right? I can't. If I go to a Fortune 500 guy, he's not interested in a personal trainer. He probably already has one. So I have to be like, hey, would you be willing to let me, work on one of your campaigns, right? Which means here, I'm the boss. There, I'd be an average entry-level person. Again, it's remaining a student. We all talk about remaining a student, but how many people actually do it, right? So to me, the 3 things you aspire to should have 3, like let's say, persons, places, or things, 3 nouns that you hold yourself to get there with, right? And if we were talking about the space, I aspire to be bigger than like LA Fitness, right? So LA Fitness is my competition. And it's been proven that they're my competition when they started doing functional training, right? And they changed their name to eSporta. Like I remember I was ahead of that. We were doing that here before they were doing it over there. And that's okay. It's just one of those things where like, that's how I know my finger's on the right pulse. I know I'm doing the right thing and I have to stay ahead of them. What's next? Because we are a small space. It's how you survive, right? So when we talk about becoming better and our habits and life hacks, I like to think of it in terms of what are you aspiring to and do you know how to get there, right? Because a lot of us want to do stuff. But again, the biggest life hack I can give is you literally are the things that you do, right? So if I'm sitting still doing nothing, I'm not going to be much of anything in another 10 years, right? But if I'm always, let's say working on self-improvement, being a better person. If I work on being a dad, the more time I spend with LJ, the better father I get a chance to be, right? It's very simple. We overcomplicate it. So a lot of the things I see now are overcomplications of simple things that you do. What you do is who you become. Yeah. Sorry, that was a long one too. Larry, more life hacks? Should we go over nutrition stuff?
I thought that's what you was about but he was like, nutrition?
That's food for your soul.
Okay, so nutrition coming up.
because when I sit with so many people, like you sit with enough people and you realize there's a very big pattern. The pattern is I want change, and then you bring up the thing that they should give up.
Yeah.
And then they go, I'm not sure if that changed. I want that change bad enough. Which is why I was kind of laughing, right? Like we were using examples from today, right? Cora was like, I'm going to give up consuming alcohol, right? Which is great. When a client says they want to give up alcohol, that tells me that they're moving further in their journey. But again, there might be reasons that they drink in the first place. So it was funny to hear. The next thing was, well, I found these no alcohol drinks that you can have, and they're just as good. Most of the time when you hear that, we're in the era of zero alcohol drinks. They're more sugary. They're more terrible for you than just drinking a glass of red wine, just so you can say you have no alcohol red wine. You get what I'm saying? It doesn't make any sense when it comes to feeling better and overall healthier. So it makes me laugh because the person who spoke on that was Sarah, and shout outs to Sarah. She didn't mean it like replace it with a sugar. She was like, no, these are good things that you can have that go along the lines. Again, you can tell where people's heads are. Fair? But I think here, and I've talked about this is why the nutrition thing came up. There's a lot of shame around what people are doing with eating, right? So the new thing I think to do for us is going to be developing a program that makes a whole foods approach a regular approach, right? With deviation, of course, but again, making sure there's at least an 80-20 rule in place, because that's what's going to help people live happier, healthier lives, right? So if we're talking nutrition, whole foods, hacks are, again, money versus time. Like that's, weigh them, make the choice for the one that matters for you. I was talking to Jen about meal prep because of my time, right? I used to take a whole Sunday and prep food for the week, which worked for an amount of time. I used to, when I was a bodybuilder, I'd do it twice a week, Sundays and Wednesdays. But again, my time has become more short. Now, I could sacrifice, right, and lose, but then I can't help this community. I'm not available to create the things here. I can't even be in a creative space because I'm too worried about what I'm gonna do or eat because of that type of stuff, because of what I'm doing, right? Now add that to a small child and a pregnant wife on top of running the space and client check-ins and everything else. And you do have a lot of time cut from you. Now let's not, keep in mind, I'm still a son, I'm still a friend, like your time gets cut short. So, like, this is where I laugh when you said me and Chris are similar in that regard. This is where you start to make your passion your purpose, and you invite everyone to come. Because now they can be involved in the things that I'm doing, and people who do come are now going to be in community with me in a way that feels authentic to me. That's where tribe starts.
Yeah.
Fair? So the hacks are money versus time. The hacks are find, I would say, excuse me, this is mine. Find something to aspire to, and then do your best to actually imitate it, right? Second being money versus time, weigh it out, choose which one is more important, and then use that like there's no tomorrow. And then the third one, if I had to give you one, would be staying consistent as hell, right? There's plenty of people, I love, like, you know, the Instagram stuff where they have the different videos. There was one today that had consistency and motivation. Consistency and motivation. The tortoise and the hare lined up in the space. And the motivation was like, whoop, and it stopped. And then the tortoise was just kept going, right? By the end, obviously, the tortoise won because that's the story, if you know the story. But the thing was, there was plenty of slow movement by the tortoise.
Yeah.
Real progress. There are millionaires out here who we will never know, meet, have any conversation with, and all they're doing is the same things day in and day out until they reach their goals, right? That's all. That's how I started fitness. Honestly, I just wanted to be a better man.
And my life hacks are like small. Yours are really heady. But I do like that. I've always said that for a long time. Like, I realized real early on, and maybe this is just how I was raised. I was told do it right the first time, and that's like a hard.
That is hard.
That's hard to live up to, right? Yeah. So like, I came up with this mantra that still serves me today, which is slow is smooth and smooth is fast. Like, if you are expecting it to be right the first time, that's like almost impossible to do. But you learn a lot when you slow down.
Facts. And
take your time with it and really like be meticulous and look at all the parts of it. You know it better than someone who just flew through it one time, you know? And by the time you do it a fifth time, but you've like paid attention, you're like increasing in speed, you're increasing in efficiency. And that's really what it is to me, is like make an experiment, make life play, whatever it is that you're trying to accomplish. Like, look at the meticulously how you're doing each step. And is there a way that you could tighten up, that you could be more efficient there? Like this morning, or last night. Last night we did meal prep, and I just was thinking, like, how do I tighten up on this process? I mean, you've been expressing time being a thing. Like, I don't feel like I don't have time to, like, when life hits you with something hard, it's like, all right, that feels like it takes up time. And you have this, like, this routine that now has to shift a little bit if you want to make time for that thing. So I was like, all right, well, we take vitamins every day, right? For me, I have ADHD, and if it's right there in front of me, I'm probably going to use it. I'm probably not going to forget. If it's in a cabinet and it's put away, like, I have to do an extra step in my head to remember, oh yeah, that's in the cabinet and I should probably use it. And then I got to open the cabinet and take it out. And it's just like, it's small, but I took everything out. You know, I took all the vitamins and supplements out, and I just put it in a bowl, and it was right there. You know, I didn't have to think about it. And honestly, it shaved not too much time off of my morning routine, but enough that you feel clear. I think time isn't necessarily like a tangible thing. It's more of like a mind clutter thing.
Totally.
Like, as your mind's clearer, you feel like you got all the time in the world. It could be the same amount of actual time, but well, I think that's what it is. Less pressure, more time.
Well, that's why I said time versus money, choose one, right?
Yeah.
If I'm making meal prep for my family, again, 8-hour trek, that's 2 hours I don't get to spend with my son. That's another 2 hours that I can't take Ashley somewhere and do something nice for her because I'm so worried about having it to be this way or doing it this way. That's why now it has to be more of a business decision than anything else. And it's so I can be there for my family, right? Like it does, when you know what your purpose is, it's much easier to look out for things. Also, I was gonna say it when you were talking earlier, but it is about failing forward. It's about like you can't fix a process you don't do. So you have to actually do said process in order to get what you want, in order to tighten up the process. And again, that's what it means. But if you have a clear goal in mind, like my goal isn't to get more time. My goal is overall is to create financial freedom. In order to work on being financially free, I have to
Find more time.
learn how I distribute my time, because I will never find more time.
Right.
Yeah.
The day will have 24 hours in it regardless, right? So I only have 18 of those at best to make my entire dreams come true. And I don't, like when most people were talking 5-year plans and all this other stuff, I just watch how people did things and I was like, that seems so broke to me. Right? And I was like, maybe it's because of what I did before all of that. Like, there's just so much planning, but so much fear. And I'm just like, I don't prescribe to that.
I was just about to say,
Yeah.
I think a big part of it, why I say make it experiment, make it play, is because for me, it takes my mindset from a scarcity mindset into an abundance one. And from there, options open up that like, I think I see a lot of people being like, I've always done it this way and it's not working. And like they get frustrated and then there's fear behind it and then they don't change I'm like, if you make it fun, there's like an easy solution that you weren't thinking about. You know, I could do this, I could move this thing around. And that's the thing you don't want to give up is like, there's fear in giving up how you've been doing it because it was working for something that could potentially be worse than how you were doing it, you know? But like, that's the experiment. Who cares? If you do a week of it and it doesn't work out, you can go back to how you were doing it, or you learn something from that, you know?
Yeah, fair.
You probably won't go back to how you were doing it because
Probably.
even though that was worse, you still found something in it
That worked.
worked.
That's
That's what I'm kind of talking about. Is like you have to do the experiment and you have to have fun with it because there's so many options always. There's more than 2 ways to skin a cat.
Never skinned a cat,
Me neither.
Me either.
but
Except for in here, and it wasn't a cat.
yeah, and there's no fur.
Never actually skinned that cat. But at the same time, I think that's what makes the journey fun, right? The journey isn't fun because you know it all. The journey is fun because you get to see who you can be, right? And again, as an adult, like, what are you doing to challenge yourself, right? And that's why I talk on mental, physical, and spiritual, because if most people realize that that's what they're looking for, then they would have more fun along the journey. It's not, I gotta lose 20 pounds or I'm gonna die in 2 months, right? That's a very rare occurrence for anyone, right? And again, it's one of those things where you have a lot more control than you give yourself credit for. Gamifying it could help, for sure, but like there's a point where like that gamifying is motivation to me, not consistency, right? Yeah. And consistency is what I'm looking for as a person who doesn't have a lot of time left. Like in another 10 years, I'm gonna be 49, bro. Like that's not a lot of time to try to get this right. So I don't have the time at this point for a lot of distractions and a lot of empty talks and a lot of broken promises. I do have time to fail a lot to get to the dream. I'm absolutely for that. I just don't have the time to waste because I literally don't know how much longer I'm going to be here. You kind of feel that way when you're young, but you really feel that way when you're getting older because you know for a fact that the time you're spending, you don't get back. When you're young, you're like, man, I got all the time in the world. You really don't. Right? But at the same time, it feels like that. So I'm laughing because I watched this with my boys. Like we were sitting up, we were hanging out, grown men. Do you remember when they remade Thundercats, the show?
No, they remade it?
Yeah, they remade it more recently, right? And there's this one episode with these plant people that live for a day, right? So you get to see the entire cycle of life for these plant people in a day. It's one of those things where like Like I used to think, man, cartoons are so mundane, but they have hidden messages. And then I started really paying attention, and I was like, no, this is a. Again, he says things like, even with the little bit of time we have, we still have time to leave our mark. Even and by the end, we're all like celebrating because he meets him as a kid, and at the end, he turns into an old man who the village reveres and helped move. So they had to move their whole village in a day, right? They lost generations
Through the move. Yeah.
They lost like full. You get what I'm saying? That's a long time to them. So I couldn't imagine what it would be like if I only had a day to live. But I know I would look at it much differently. So it was one of those lessons. I'm looking around the room. It's a bunch of, again, we are all grown, tears in guys' eyes, because it's just like, yo, man, that was crazy. I'm like, yeah, because you really do take life for granted when you're younger. Fair? So the older I get, the more I'm like, yeah, it's got to have some purpose to it. And that is what I'm trying to pursue wholeheartedly. That's why I love wholeheartedly. That's why I care wholeheartedly. That's why I plan wholeheartedly. And again, sometimes that means I got to like do it with nobody else in the room. And I got to look like a damn idiot, right? I'd rather look like an idiot who tried than a fool who never did. So for me, that's what it is. I'm looking for consistency. Realize motivation can help, but I'm looking for consistency, So that's the way I look at like all of that. It's because if motivation drove the ship, we would not be here. Just being completely blunt. If I had allowed motivation to drive the ship, because I used to be like so many people, Machiavelli motivation videos in the morning, get up, do my man routine, it lasts for a little bit, but eventually, if you don't find something deeper, it's hard to get up in the morning. This season, exactly that, right? So you need something deeper. I like to think of it as external motivation and intrinsic motivation, right? If your intrinsic is high, your external matters very little. If your external's high and your intrinsic's low, you're gonna have a hell of a time. Yeah. Right? So, we're talking about habits. We're talking about hacks. Don't get me wrong, they're good. But nothing's better than finding your why, in my opinion. Yeah.
Yeah. Ooh.
That's how I get through seasons all the time. This season sucks. All right. What did I drive today? All right,
The old
you think I'm gonna ride a bike in 40 degrees?
I mean, I thought about that, bro. I was like, yo, what if your truck break down this winter? You gonna be riding that?
I'm gonna have no choice, and this community gave it to me, right? So like this morning, I was dealing with that. I didn't get up. LJ got up, all types of rough. Life was like, come here.
Yeah, it's doing that right now. It's just going around the circle. It's like bitch slapping everybody. Like,
and it was like now
Hand back hand.
and it was like, and show up. Then I was like,
yeah.
Clean yourself up.
yeah. After I got knocked out. All right, get on the bike.
Gotta get to work.
Yeah.
All right, the whole way, and again, a lot of people, they see your consistency, but they don't see what like the battles you fought to be consistent. So they look at consistency and say, "Man, that's so easy." It's really not, right? Like I can tell you, I spent hours in the gym arguing with myself about sets. Like when I went on Sunday, they're like, "You're so highly motivated." I'm looking at people who are way more motivated than me. I met a 72-year-old guy who is a world record plank holder. He holds planks for like 9 minutes at a time. Amazing. When you meet someone like that, tell me you don't get a little external motivation.
Yeah.
Right? But he came up to me because he saw how hard I was working with no one pushing me.
Yeah.
There's no lights, there's no highlight reel. I'm not recording this shit. I'm just trying to get it in as much as I can. And I realized that is what separated me from the rest of the crowd. So a lot of times people go in there and do the bare minimum. And I'm talking about life. I'm not just talking, the gym is just a metaphor for me. The gym is a metaphor for life. So if you go into the gym and you know you're supposed to do something and you do that, but you know you could do more, you left something on your plate. Right? It's important. And again,
I've been talking like that. I think that's been one of the things I've
noticed.
saying.
I've noticed.
Yeah.
You'd be like, I think you're underestimating my power. I'm like, not really, but if you want to go up, because it's one of those things like only you know what you might be capable of. So if I put a limit on that, I'm wrong, right? But if I set a standard for that, that's different. And again, a lot of us are used to limits, right? But it's a standard, right? You should be able to do this, no problem. But you notice me, I'm always advocating for people being stronger because they're stronger than they think. Yes. How many times in here have you seen someone will do something really tough, and then it is tears, or they get frustrated, and the emotions just come out, right? Sometimes it's victory frustration because they didn't think they could do it, and those are tears. Sometimes it's just frustration. That comes out, tears. Like, I don't want to mention her name, but at the same time, we have a couple clients who have like different herniated disc issues, which isn't unheard of in fitness and movement. But at the same time, you can see how long they struggled by when they become frustrated. You understand what I'm saying? That like watching them be like, I don't think I could do it, and then doing it, and the tears were mixed. I'm mad, it's my job. My job isn't to tell them you'll be okay. My job is to remind them how far they've come, and then tell them they'll be okay, right? There's more to it. That's what makes us different, right? We do the small things that really matter to them. Like, look at your journey. This isn't, you couldn't even do that, right? Margie said it earlier. I hear all those moments. I just like kind of brush past them. It's like, I could have did that when I first got here. Yeah, let's keep going, right? And they're just like, damn, no acknowledgement. I don't want to acknowledge this moment that isn't the end of your journey. I would rather you keep going. If I acknowledge you and you think job well done and you stop, I feel like a bad coach. So that's why you don't see me be like, every time, love it, right? It's because there's so much more for you here. There's so much more that you could be doing. And you can see those who push themselves. And again, the hard part for them, like Amy, is sitting still and realizing that recovery can be done in a different way, or give back can be done in a different way. It's all ebb and flow, man.
Also,
I'm the one who's like, yeah, whatever, I could have done better. Fuck that bitch.
Fuck these weights. Kick them down.
You're like, great job. And I'm like, no, wrong.
4 inches higher. My form wasn't perfect. but that's the thing. You can tell when someone's used to pushing themselves. You can also tell when someone's not. I'm here to provide the opposite, right? You know, it's okay that you didn't make that. Yeah, I'm gonna do something crazier anytime. It's fine. Like I say stuff like that all the time, and people are like,
you know, you could do more.
Yeah, although when I walk, no one gets to hear those moments except for select people. I'd be like, I'd go heavier.
60s, huh? Interesting. I also want to throw. We're probably close to the end.
Yeah,
of this,
we are close.
I figured I'd throw this in because this is supposed to be like coach's diary or journal, whatever. For the first time this morning, I prayed for someone else.
What? You prayed?
Well, that's nothing. That's not new, my dude. What?
Let's get the oil.
No Diddy. Oh my God.
I forgot about Diddy.
Oh my God.
Forgot about Diddy for 5 minutes.
No Sean John. I ain't wearing no Sean John.
No Diddy. But that's dope. What do you want to share what it was about?
Yeah, sure. I really was just I'm realizing the power of it. You know, like I don't think I ever like, you know how I make connection in the science and everything.
Sure.
But like there's certain things I'm looking at and I'm like, oh yeah, but I've never even like really practiced that. Like if I really believe in it, why am I not doing it? You know? Like obviously I don't believe in it fully if I'm not like leaning into it. And then we watched The Forge like weeks ago. That shit been on my mind all the time, right? And I'm seeing there was like this theme where the women were home, you know, like the grandma was home, the mother was home, and they were praying, and they were keeping the house, and they were praying. It's like, all right, I know you're out there doing something hard. I'm just gonna say, I was up until 3 a.m. just praying. I was like, yo, I can't even imagine losing sleep to pray. I was like, that shit was blowing my mind for like a few weeks. And then I was just like, you know what? I think this is the time, because like I'm in a spot where I feel solid, right? like this season going into the winter. Who knows what's
Sure,
gonna
sure.
happen?
Sure,
But
sure.
right now, I feel solid. I feel like I've got some. I don't know what to call it. I don't know what you would even call it. I just feel like I'm not like life's
Oh,
not
grounded.
like.
You feel
I feel
grounded.
grounded. There we go. That's the word. That's the word.
Yeah, yeah.
So I'm like looking at the people I care about in this season. I'm like, all right,
Because you have the P word,
what's the P word?
purpose. That's why you feel grounded.
All right, we're done here. We're done here.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for tuning in today, everybody. As you know, of course, we put this together for all of you. Again, if you like this video, like it, share it. Of course, we want to continue to reach all of you. If you're curious about joining our community, reach out on www.gettingitdaily.com, or you can find us on social media on either Instagram or Facebook under the name Getting It Daily. But again, it's all for the growth of us all as well as you all. So thank you for sharing this moment with us. This is Coach Linden.
Amy.
Coach Debbie.
Coach Debbie signing off. Peace.